Hello and welcome to Code FP Academy. And this is a course on generative AI. So the course is divided into different modules. This is the first module, that's module one. And we'll be looking at the foundations of generative AI in this module. So the first lesson that we are going to look at is Introduction to Artificial Intelligence. At the end of this lesson, which is the first lesson in this model, we should be able to explain what AI means in simple terms, differentiate between AI, machine learning, and deep learning, identify real life examples of AI, understand where generative AI fits within AI, and discuss basic benefits and risk of AI. Now, let's get started. So, what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is the ability of machines or software to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence. In other words, we can go further and explain that AI is a technology that enables computers and machines to simulate human learning, comprehension, problem solving, decision making, creativity, and autonomy. We can think of AI systems, or we can say AI systems can think, learn, solve problems, recognize patterns, and also make decisions based on the data that they have. AI is simply teaching computers or machines to think and act like humans. An example of um, some of the stuff that human do or human intelligence that AI tries to copy is that human understands language, AI also understands language, recognize phrases, make decisions, and learn from experience. Let's look at some examples of AI that we see in everyday life. So the first one is got Google search suggestions. Sometimes you want to search for something on the net, and when you enter the word, you see there are some suggested search that you can also do. YouTube and Netflix recommendations, face unlock on smartphones, voice assistants like Siri and Google Assistants, and so much more. All right, let's move on to the difference between AI, machine learning, and deep learning. So, AI is the big concept, and within it, we have machine learning, and within machine learning, we have deep learning. So, let me break it down into this way. So, let's say we're taking Africa, or let's take the world like so we have the planet, that is the world, and Africa is a continent within the planet, and Ghana is a country within Africa. So we can take it as AI being the planet, machine learning being the continent, and the deep learning being the country within that continent. So we've defined AI already as any system that can perform tasks that normally need human intelligence. And machine learning is a way of teaching computers to learn from data instead of being programmed step by step. And deep learning is a more advanced form of machine learning that uses neural networks similar to human brain. Don't want to go deep into all of that. Now let's look at where generative AI comes in. You know this course is about generative AI. So generative AI is a special type of AI that can create new content instead of just analyzing information. So generative AI, often called or sometimes called Gen AI, refers to deep learning models that can create original content such as long form text, high quality images, realistic video or audio, and more in response to a user's prompts or requests. So let's look at difference between traditional AI, and generative AI. So traditional AI, that's the ones we talked about when we were looking at everyday examples of AI. They recognize images, predict outcomes, and classifies data. Generative AI writes tests, creates images, generates music, and produce videos. So an example of a generative AI is ChatGPT writing an essay, an AI composing a music, AI writing computer codes, and so much. Now let's look at some benefits of AI. AI helps to save time, automate boring tasks, improve accuracy, help in education, support businesses, and assist people with disabilities. And some risk and limitations associated with AI is that it can make mistakes, it can be biased, and the output we get depends on the data that is in it or the data that the AI has been trained on. So today we've looked at, or in this lesson, we've looked at the meaning of artificial intelligence, difference between AI, machine learning, and deep learning. We've looked at some examples of AI, introduced generative AI, and also looked at the benefits and limitations of AI. Thank you, and see you in the next lesson.